Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Brandon Therapist. Today, I want to talk to you about marital roles. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, in this car chat, I'm alone today. The wife couldn't be here, and so you get me all by my lonesome. And I'm also doing my first unedited draft video. So this will be the first time I've ever posted without having to edit. So you guys get the raw footage. And my wife may ask about my hat. I love it. It is warm, guys, especially for men with a hair deficit. And since I have a hair deficit, it is great. Do you have anything that that you love that your spouse does not like? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's get into marital roles. When it comes to marriage, one of the many things that couples fight over is the roles, because everyone assumes that a role should be automatic. It should be something that we jump in. Most of these roles are based on gender identity. And, men take out the garbage, make sure the lawn is mowed, etc., etc. Women get in there and cook. Those are the assumed roles. But what happens when those roles don't work for your house? And that's a good thing. It's a good thing because every household should be different. There should not be any similarities between your household and someone else's. I mean, whatever you like to do is what you like to do and how you guys set up your role within your house. And the roles come down to, what do you guys have planned for your life? How do you have it planned? And what are the responsibilities of your household? In order to start putting roles in their proper place and identifying them, first you have to know, what are the responsibilities of your house? What is every single responsibility that you guys need in life for your household to run smoothly overall? When you answer this question, write it all down, everything. And you need to write it down, because if you don't, something will slip. This is the basis of starting to identify your roles. So when it comes to chores, who's responsible for what chores? Fine, you get that out the way. Budgeting, who's responsible for paying which bills? Boom, you got that out the way. When it comes to life, who's responsible for getting who where? You know, this morning I am with you because I had to drop the child off. It's no big deal. Get up, get ready, get the child ready. Wife helps get breakfast ready. Me and him, we're out the door. We have our conversation, our morning talk, our morning prayer, and we're off doing our day. So, what are those roles and how do they define you and your household? It is about the individual, because you each will have a role that you prefer. Um, in our case, the wife doesn't like doing the dishes. I'm not a fan of cooking. I know how to cook. I do like to cook. I just don't like the tedious part of it sometimes. And that's our thing. She cook, I'll clean. And sometimes we end up switching roles. That's to say that the roles aren't capable of being unswitched. So, as we get back to this video and I stop rambling, um, when we get into it, the first step I want to remind you guys of, that I already mentioned, is to write down all of your responsibilities. When you write them down, you understand the load of the house and the weight of the house. So when one person says that they feel that they're doing too much, it's literally because they're probably taking on a majority of the load in the house. And that's not the goal. If someone feels like they're doing more, that means that there's a more stress within the house. And if there's more stress within the house, all of a sudden you guys will have more arguments. And that's the last thing that you want as you start to build your life. Because the more you argue or the more disagreements you have, that means that there's a continuous conflict that's not being resolved. Anything that's not resolved will come back, guys. We're about smooth marriages, making it as smooth as possible. Trust me, marriage gets difficult, and there'll always be difficult moments, but this is about making your household run as smooth as possible. So, now that you done wrote down your role, all the responsibilities of the house, the next step is who does what. And again, I touched on this a little bit also, but it's all about defining your roles and defining the roles of the household to whoever enjoys them the most. And trust me, there'll be something on that list that you both don't like to do. It has to be done. There's flat out no escaping it. And because it has to be done, you guys just make sure, or is it one that you split? Or how do you divvy that up? You talk about it because you set these roles. Don't get into the traditional um, husband wife role in which you talk about, in which, you know, I'll cut the grass. I know some women who love their lawn and want to maintain it and will not let their husbands touch it. That is fine. That's your thing. That's your house. No one tells you how to run your house. All the status quo is out the door. All this who does what, uh, it's out the door. We're about creating what works for you and not being afraid to create what works for you, not work what works for anybody else. This is what works for you and your spouse. And those couples who understand that are the happiest. So split up the responsibilities based on what you guys enjoy and what you guys are capable of doing and who does it better. Because once you are given a role, you have to do it responsibly and have to do it diligently. Make sure that you are doing this and doing what's best for your household. The third tip I want to give you is when it comes to taking care of the house and this title of head of household, take that seriously. And it's not something that needs to be outright defined, but it comes out in behavior. And that behavior is the behavior is very obvious. You know, if the family is struggling, what do you do? What is the role? What do you automatically jump to? And, you know, if my household came in trouble, I'm looking for a second job. I'm looking for another way to earn income. I'm looking for this. At the same time, my wife is playing a role in making sure we save this, making sure that things are put in their proper place, making sure that we save money so that we can come out of a financial slump. So technically, there's a head of household. I am a protector and the overall leader of my house, but we both work together to ensure that it runs smoothly, and never will she be treated as if she is my unequal. That's what it means to be a head of household. You do what you need to do to make sure that the house runs smoothly. And in those times, you work together to make sure that you each are playing a part of to make sure everything goes well. And that's the best way for things to happen. If one partner is going to work harder and have more time away from the house, and the other partner is working and making sure that usage in the house is minimized so that In this case, I'm using finances so that money can be saved. Then you guys are still working cohesively and you still protect the house. And by protecting the house, making sure that nothing impedes on your household that would damage any relationship within your home that will affect your home. And this comes from outsiders, this comes from finances. You know, sometimes you might have a guest who can't come over because your house is fragile right now. And it's unfortunate, but we're in a fragile state. We're not having any company until we're in a better position. We have decided to, whatever that decision is, make sure that you both have decided on it and discussed it and come together. So, yes, my job is to protect the house. It's a role I embrace, it's a role I love. Every night, everything's locked down, household secure, kiss my son on his sleep, on his cheek, give him a hug while he sleep as I get ready to go to sleep. Everything is protected, done, solid. It's a role that I embrace. Establish those roles. Understand your position and go for it. Do not allow your household to be ran like any other's households just because you're trying to match the status quo. Start defining your role. So, in the set of household or ways you can protect the house, come up with that thought. Come up with who does what. When it comes to this head of household role, define it, come together, and guys, work together. Always work together. When you work together and you don't let other thoughts or opinions intrude your household, you'll have a smoother marriage. So define the roles of your house and let me know how it goes. And if you have other roles or other things that I may have missed, put them down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And also, we're going to go in deeper on this conversation on Instagram Live next week. That is next Tuesday, March 21st, if I'm not mistaken. I do not have a calendar in front of me, but details will come for that soon. Let's talk about it. Also, if you haven't joined, make sure that you join Baron Battles Network so we will have group therapy and conversations on topics such as this so that we can talk about our roles and we can have create smoother marriages, smoother dynamics for individuals, as well as discuss infertility and how it is affecting our household. Join Baron Battles. The link is in the bio. Good guys. I'm glad. Thank you for joining me. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later.